friends. I hope you're doing well. It's Frankyrose. Welcome to my channel. Today I've got Mexi Texi with me. We have been going through this case daily and trying to find everything we can about Keegan and the other individuals that they're looking at, including Ron Logan. That I don't know. What do you think, Mexi?
Well, I hadn't looked into this case. Like, I'd heard of it, never really looked into it. So it's been like a huge learning thing for me too. So yeah, there's a lot. There is a lot in
There
this case.
really is. I mean, you don't know who's ruled out, who's still in the game.
A lot of rabbit holes, right? You can go like
Oh,
down on Logan, Keegan, his dad, his cousin. Like, there's a
everything.
lot of people.
It is. And each of them look as bad as the next.
Yes.
So I was thinking we should maybe listen to some of the stuff that was first going on that first little while.
Yeah, like a rerun.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. And away we go.
December 6th, 2021, the same day that CrimeCon would post this hour-long interview panel with the family of Liberty German, ISP released the following announcement via YouTube.
While investigating the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German, detectives with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office and the Indiana State Police have uncovered an online profile named Anthony Schatz. This profile was being used from 2016 to 2017 on social media applications, including but not limited to Snapchat and Instagram. The fictitious Anthony Schatz profile used images of a known male model and portrayed himself as being extremely wealthy and owning numerous sports cars.
Yeah, Anthony Schatz guy sounds like a catch.
The creator of the fictitious profile used this information while communicating with juvenile females to solicit nude images, obtain their address, and attempt to meet with them. Pictured on your screen, you'll see images of the known male model and images of the fictitious profile sent to the underage females. We have already identified the male in these images that were used by Anthony Schatz. The male in the photo is not the person of interest in the investigation. Detectives are seeking information about the person who created the Anthony Schatz profile. Investigators would like any individual who communicated, met, or attempted to meet the Anthony Schatz profile to contact law enforcement by utilizing the tip email, Abby and Libby tip at cacoshrf.com. Please provide as much information as you possibly can. For example, when you communicated with Anthony Schatz, how you communicated with the profile, what social media applications the account used, and if Anthony Schatz attempted to meet you or obtain your address. If you have saved images or conversations with Anthony Schatz profile, please attach them to your email.
Anthony Schatz. Ever heard of him?
I wish. New information to us as of last night, before everybody else, but still new information. I'm kind of torn. I would never want to think that social media was a connection in this. But also, I do hope that there's a connection now. Obviously, we want justice. We want this to be over. And if that's a connection that has to be made to get justice.
Later that week, on December 9th, HLN's Barbara McDonald did a jailhouse interview with Keegan Kline, and parts of this interview aired in the February.
So this is some of the paperwork I think we'll be going through, isn't it?
Yeah, we have the Ron Logan warrant and then the Keegan Kline affidavit, which would, it's a transcript, and then the transcript of the interview, of course.
Of the interview.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll do this and then we'll do a little bit further along in the case just so everybody knows the case and then start taking a peek at some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
February 2022 5-year special.
So why do you think investigators are putting so much focus on you right now?
I have not a clue. I think it's because they said I was the last person to talk to her, is what they've told me.
And then she shows up at the bridge and they're abducted and later found dead.
Right.
Keegan Kline, he was brought up several times in our reporting tonight. He has not been named as a suspect. Has he been questioned in relation to this case, and why release that fake social media account? What was the purpose of that?
Yeah, again, a very dynamic situation and very strategic decision to do that. And what I can say about Keegan Kline is when that was released not long ago, significant tips have come in that have been very meaningful to us. So we're just beginning with the Anthony Schatz profile and what that might mean to the Delphi homicides.
Do you think it's possible that your sister and Abby were communicating with this account?
I think that the account is definitely important and that we have to keep sharing it and putting it out there because for whatever reason, law enforcement thinks it's important.
In early March, the Keegan Kline transcripts were released, and this included an August 2020 interrogation with police, as well as the December 2021 HLN interview with Barbara McDonald. So it appears that these documents were filed on March 3rd in the Miami County Clerk's office.
We'll take a look at that paperwork a little closer. We'll see if there's anything else in here. Oh, what did we just miss here?
It was a 5-minute conversation. I never talked to the account again, and I didn't think about it again until years later. Not only do I now have to live with the fact that I communicated with an account that could possibly be connected to my sister's death, as if that's not traumatic enough, I now have
This is what we were talking about earlier.
Yes. Yes. So that's where that question comes from. Can I present my screen really quick? Because I want to show like the question that we're talking about.
Absolutely.
I want to just show you guys this little tidbit of stuff. Where would it be? Let's open this. Go here. So, can you guys see that? Can you see that? Pretty.
A little bigger, I think.
I can explode that.
Perfect.
So, somebody like wrote this transcript out of the interview with Barbara McDonald. They put it on a YouTube. I'm not gonna put it out there, but I just wanted to highlight this one question right here. That she had asked, like, so do you remember the night of the 13th, the night the girls went missing? Do you remember communicating with Kelsey German? Keegan Kline responded with, no, I don't. So that was kind of like a question we had about, did she talk to him the night? That would be insane. Like,
well, and it's almost sounding
like she did.
There was brief communication.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a little scary.
Interesting.
Let's I'll see if I can pull up.
Yeah, I just wanted to show that. I'll go ahead and close that out, and we can go back to that because that was.
Well, we were kind of looking, weren't we?
Yeah.
So I'll see if there's anything more on there. Okay, that's true.
I want to see that Facebook message, like that little piece that in that video that you were just showing. If we can go back to that and just look at that ending, I want to read that message or that Facebook message.
It wasn't.
Oh, well, you know, like where we were talking about Kelsey possibly
Yep.
communicating with that person.
Just okay. Think. Right in here. Whoa.
Did we lose it? We can go on to something else. I'll just remember to come back to that. If you have another video you want to pull up. That's it. Said many times. It's to this day and does I remember them. Interesting. That's so interesting. The account could possibly be connected to my sister's staff. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. Let me. I definitely want to come back to that. So like pin that, save it. I want to come back to that and like actually read through that whole thing.
Treated is horrendous and not okay.
Yeah, again, a very dynamic situation and very strategic decision to do that.
I'd like to see that again.
Contact with the Anthony Shots
That's
profile.
great.
I'm not sure why people are so upset about it. I've said many times that there are things I am still remembering to this day, and as I remember them, law enforcement is made aware immediately. I contacted several people that I found Libby had been in contact with the evening of February 13th as we were sitting in the police station. I was trying to get as much information as I could to figure out where the girls were. Anthony Shots ended up being one of the accounts I messaged. Law enforcement has the details of that conversation, but just know.
I was wondering how that went about.
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah.
she was checking numbers that were literally on Libby's phone.
Yeah. Just looking for info. I mean, just trying to find them. Like it was innocent enough to like contact that person. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
no. That's
Nothing we wouldn't have done.
right. Exactly. That's scary though.
Isn't it?
Yes.
That the short discussion I had with the account threw up no red flags and gave no indication that the account knew anything of Libby and Abby's whereabouts. It was a 5-minute conversation. I never talked to the account again, and I didn't think about it again until years later. Not only do I now have to live with the fact that I communicated with an account that could possibly be connected to my sister's death, as if that's not traumatic enough, I now have to watch groups dissect my intentions and twist my every word in a million directions. No matter what I say, someone will always have something negative to say about it. I hope those people have the day they deserve. I hope today is the day. I hope this is over soon. I hope someday the true crime community will learn that the way family members of murder victims are treated is horrendous and not okay.
Yeah, again, a very dynamic situation and very.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Those families get attacked.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah. I was watching another creator and he put it really well. He said that there is in a large group of online sleuths, and there is just a small fraction that do things a little sideways. It doesn't represent the rest of us.
Yeah, that is true. But I mean, it's just so hard. Like the parents, I mean, if they're in, like, if obviously not everything is the same, every situation is different, but like for them, in this case, the family's completely innocent and they're just.
They just want answers.
There's an array of emotions, probably, and feelings that they go through daily that they don't need or deserve that kind of.
Oh, absolutely
extra
not.
scrutiny, you know, from.
And they get attacked.
Yes, exactly.
They get attacked.
It's just a sad situation all the way around, honestly.
It so is. I might have another one that'll kind of do a little more explaining. We'll see if it kicks in here. It's another short one. There's so much to go through. You know, they've got so much information that they've got a lot and they've got nothing all at the same time. Let's try this.
Yeah, and everybody's suspect. Like all the people that they've mentioned are suspect. Like they don't have the best backgrounds.
Oh, this is the thing. There's not one better than the other. They're all kind of disgusting humans.
Mm.
No matter what you're voting for, it matters. Vote. We're counting on you.
Or don't. That's up to you.
I feel like I'm being harassed completely.
Did you have anything to do with the murders of Abby or Libby?
Not at all. And I've gave up my DNA, a hair follicle test. I've done everything they wanted me to.
In December, Delphi investigators announced that catfish account Anthony Schatz was active on Instagram and Snapchat in 2016 and 2017. And they asked for anyone who interacted with that profile to come forward. But more than a year ago, then 26-year-old Kegan Klein admitted to investigators that he was behind the fake profile and that he used it to ask young girls for nude pictures and videos. Tell me about Anthony Schatz. Why did you create that profile?
I don't really know. I was just lonely.
So, you know, talking drop-offs.
Yeah, drop-offs.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I thought it was a physical thing. Right, is literally like they share on the internet, and it sounds like the night before the girls went missing, there was 2 different people that used that platform to catfish.
Same account, right? But just like on different devices, wasn't it?
Different devices that went to different people. So I don't know if that would mean his dad Tony, or if that would mean
or anybody, or
anyone with that Dropbox. I'm not sure.
Oh, if it's a Dropbox, like those online ones, like we've talked about this, those Dropboxes like are completely anonymous. Like that's
no way to track them.
Not really. Like when you drop them, it's just like an anonymous drop.
Okay.
Like, that's how he brings to their things sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why I did it, really.
And were you ever trying to meet these girls in real life that you were talking to?
No, never.
Just 11 days after the murders of Abby and Libby, task force investigators served a search warrant on the home that Kegan shared with his dad. At the time, the FBI told the Lafayette Journal and Courier they found nothing to indicate a connection to the Delphi case. Kegan's electronics were confiscated then, but he wasn't arrested until 3 years later. He's now facing 30 counts of child pornography and child solicitation in Miami County, Indiana, unrelated to the Delphi murders. He says, though, that Indiana State Police told him Anthony Schatz had been communicating with Libby before her murder.
So why do you think investigators are putting so much focus on you right now?
I have not a clue. I think it's because they said I was the last person to talk to her, is what they've told me.
And then she shows up at the bridge and they're abducted and later found dead.
Right.
Right.
And that was not you.
No, 100% not.
Keegan says he has no memory or knowledge of communicating with Libby, and investigators haven't confirmed if what he says is true.
Do you think you're going to be charged with anything related to Abby and Libby's murder?
No, I don't.
So the state police haven't threatened that?
No.
Wow, eh? Get rid of that one there. Do you want to look at that map? How do you feel
Yeah,
about...
because I think James was just saying something about like drop off points. I've heard like of two different like drop off or like maybe like parked car locations, like where they could park and maybe go. Yeah. Maybe share my screen.
I've really enjoyed working with you on this.
Oh, all right.
I'm not going to want to stop.
Let's see. So, can you see my screen on there?
There we go.
Cool. So let's kind of scroll down here. Like these are all the locations of like note, I guess you would say, for just so everyone has an idea of where stuff's at.
Well, sure, because it gets confusing.
Yeah.
You know, it's easier if a person's got kind of the footing of the
Idea
area.
of where it is. So this guy's Delphi, Indiana. Like we're right on top of Delphi right now. That's what the little home thing is right there. And just like east of Delphi, I guess it would be east of Delphi. East Main Street, you go east. There's like the drop off where Abby and Libby got dropped off.
Okay. Yeah.
Right here.
I love that picture of those two.
Yeah. That's such like a life cut short. I don't know. Like they could have done. I mean, they were like little sleuths, little detectives. Too.
Oh, they were
Yeah.
smart girls and well behaved.
So this is where they would have gotten dropped off. That's like the beginning trail for the bridge, the Moon on High Bridge.
Okay.
But I've heard like in two different places, like they think that someone could have parked or was parked here. There's like reports of a vehicle.
You bet.
Being parked at like the old CPS building thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting because if you go down here, I can't do it on here. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to switch over. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I love Google Earth. So like where that drop off is, and if I'm correct, because I've like looking at pictures, it looks like that's the way it looked like in 2017, right?
Right.
For the most part. So like somebody would if to come here, you would have to get dropped off on this side where my little man is.
Right.
Like there's like a little park or something here. Or right here, sorry. this little parking lot. You can walk over the bridge and come this way.
Okay.
If you come here, there's like a wall. Like, you know, you can't get up there. So
Okay.
that would be the perfect location to have
A vehicle.
a little stakeout. Like some perv creeper is just sitting right there.
Yeah.
He can
absolutely.
see everybody that's being dropped off across the highway, see them walk across, make sure they're alone. You know.
Well said.
And then the other thing, what was the park? The other one was like next at the graveyard, correct?
Yeah, it was in the cemetery parking.
Yeah, so this location.
Which makes sense as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because they can
Because
just cut
they
through.
look at where
they were found.
You know, they were found. Like they could literally just cut through. And but this to me, like, is this parking location would just point to like Ron Logan to me, and that's one of the persons of interest that I've been talked about. And this here is his property. So all of this blue square is his property.
Right.
Or property line. So
right down to Deer Creek.
Yep. And he could have easily, I mean, I don't know if he had a buddy or a friend or whatever, like anyone could stake out. Like he could easily walk through his property line and like chill right here.
Mm-hmm.
And just, you know.
And I found, I think I've got it on the Discord channel, where there is a barn in there somewhere.
I think it was somewhere around here when we, like, there was some kind of structure somewhere right here, which is like a cross.
Right in there.
Yeah. But look how close there's like, so if you like look down at this bridge all the way down, like it ends. I mean, you lose it at some point, but there's this house right here. The road to get there, because that's the end of the house, actually comes right underneath this bridge.
Right.
Like, look how.
So that is the one that's fenced off, right? Where it's basically the end of the trail, and then they're told to go down the hill.
Right.
Okay.
Just crazy. There's so many possibilities. Like,
well, this is the thing, and there's been so many suspects.
But look how sus Ron Logan looks. Oh my gosh.
And circle his house again, his proper, like where his house is, right in there.
I'll scroll in. You see it right up, okay, right in there, right at the edge of the property line. I'm assuming the property line comes probably to the road, but you know, close enough.
Right. Not like me, who originally seen it and thought, "Oh, what a weird way to buy a property."
Right. Yeah, look, I mean, and during if you look up like imagery from like later years or like winter, fall, you can actually see. I'm sure that it's probably like a game trail through here,
I'm sure,
but it's easily walkable. Like,
yeah. Well, there's that one video out where he's taking that fellow from the press, and he walks down there. What I found interesting is there is an incline, and Ron Logan was able to walk up and down that.
Easy
peasy.
Yeah. That guy, I mean, as soon as I started looking into it, like that guy, I mean, he's, if I think it's anyone, it's him, but like, there's certain things that don't add up with him.
With him as well.
But will add up with somebody else, like Keegan, or like add up, like.
So how far do you have on this map the area that Keegan and his dad are in, or is this on the other one?
Where
the river and where that river search was.
Yeah.
Boom.
So right in here.
right?
Let me go to Google Earth.
Yeah, there's so much that does not add up, right? Public art critic.
It doesn't, because let's just to put it in perspective, like, let me, so you can see it. This is the distance. It's about, what, 40 miles, right? 40 miles from Peru to this Munan Bridge. So, like, let's all pretend that Keegan, his dad, his cousin, that's probably like a little family crew. Let's just pretend they're like one of them is involved, right? And they're all in Peru. 40 miles to get to this location. And I'm not from Indiana, so if anyone is from there, please let me know. Is this like a popular, known place, like the Munan?
Yeah, it is.
It's like
supposed
everybody
to be
knows about it.
Yeah. There's not a lot of places there. I mean, they've done that memorial park with all of don't they have like baseball and
which is like somewhere over here, actually. I don't know.
So this will be the first time that they've really had anything other than the Monon High Bridge and that little forested area.
It's Party Central public. Munan High is a Party Central.
Oh.
Okay,
that makes sense too.
I mean, it kind of would, because like teenagers or, people that can drive can just like come into this graveyard possibly and like park here.
Yeah.
But if Ron Logan is like, that butts up to his property, if he really is as big as a creeper as everybody thinks he is, like, if they had parties down here and parked here, don't you think he'd be like...
They wouldn't know that area 1,000%. And James, I think there was a barn on his property. We're just having a hard time verifying it. But we're not able to verify it quite yet. But I'm pretty sure that I seen one not long ago. Basically, just on something, probably like on one of these Google searches that somebody had just put in as a picture.
Right. Well, remember I was like on looking up like some, what was it, like a John Ditch something, John Ditch Creek or John.
Right.
This John's Ditch. Because there was a picture on someone's website with this on there with a bunch of little shacks in it. Like,
right. Yeah.
But that's just kind of far from...
It's too far, yeah. I'm pretty sure, like James was saying, I think that there is one on Ron Logan's property. Like, I think I heard this a long time ago, actually. But, it's just finding it isn't easy.
No, it's not easy.
Are surveys easy to get in the U.S.?
I've never tried getting a survey. It's not something. Let me see if I can actually.
Oh yeah.
Me.
Do you have Ron's
address? That's actually what I'm trying to do right now.
Okay.
It's like 300
north.
Something.
Okay.
Around there. I was trying to see if I could just get the GPS thing on it. The Ron Logan show has been burnt from...
Okay. Now that makes sense as to why we haven't been able to find it.
Molly, because I didn't even find this place with the address. Like, I just found it. I figured this was it from, like, pictures. But I think if you look up, like, that West 300 North.
Yeah.
West 300 North thing in Delphi, you should be able to find it. because you can't even drop a little man onto this. I tried. You can't drop the little man in
You
there.
can't drop that little man there.
Hard.
Okay, well, if it's been burnt down, that makes sense as to why we haven't been able to find it on. Lucky that didn't. It's Ron Logan's property.
Yeah.
Lucky you didn't have a forest fire.
Burnt down, huh? Does anyone know like where it was like was it just like somewhere in here like
Pretty much. Yeah, it was a kind of central.
Cuz I do kind of remember that his property looking at like the old satellites from like different years, this property has changed a little, like the look of it. Not much, but it has.
Even from the time that they went and searched the house, it looks different.
A little, yeah.
So we know of a few searches now. We've got Ron Logan's. We've got Keegan and Tony's place. I'm sure that a lot of the other names that have been going through the last 5 years, a lot of them have also. The one that I found interesting is, oh, thanks, Molly. You're awesome. I would like to find the warrant for Tony's mom's house.
Is that like a real thing? Like, did that really happen?
It sounds like it. Sounds like it. I haven't had, it's not verified by law enforcement, but I've heard it's from some pretty good sources. So this is where whatever they were searching for was thrown over this bridge into that. And whatever it was, they found it. It sounds like possibly something to do with a computer.
A computer. Oh, man.
So I don't know if that
like
was
a hard drive or something?
Yeah. I just, it was supposed to be an electronic device.
Interesting. I mean, I guess I would have questions of like how long ago it was like dumped in there, just because we assume that it's like.
Well, it's going to be at least 2 years.
Well, what if it was something that they like just recently dumped out because
he's been in jail for 2 years though.
What about the cousin?
Yeah, the cousin I don't know, but I don't know that Keegan would be able to
Isn't
point
that
that out.
actually what that new report says about the cousin being arrested? Oh, he's arrested on a DUI charge.
A DUI, yeah. Yeah. He, let's see here. Travis Trexler, cousin of alleged Snapchat catfish and child predator. Keegan Kline was arrested in Wabash County in the beginning of September on DUI. They always look so sad when they get caught. Held in custody for a week in place of a $1,200 bond. Yeah, it's saying that they don't think he's linked at this point anyways. So, maybe we should take a peek at Ron Logan's search warrant. That had a lot of good tidbits in there, didn't it?
It did. So Murder Sheet, that podcast got this correct?
Absolutely. I think it's been pulled since they found it, but that doesn't much matter now. They put it out there to be grabbed.
So FBI wrote this. And, Molly, here's the. I mean, it doesn't give you the address, but it's got the coordinates. It's the area of Country Road 300 North and 575 West. I'll type it in the chat. Klein was catfished to the trails.
Things that stick out. Dogs turned away. Search stopped. Ron Logan made an alibi, right? Heads of animals and bones in the woods. Drone couldn't see the girls. Keegan Klein spoke to... Is there... Okay. Keegan Klein spoke to KG, etc., etc. So, do you think, public art critic, do you think that possibly Ron Logan was part of this Dropbox scheme with Keegan Klein? Country Road 300 North and 575 West.
I mean, that would be. Is it possible, like a ring, kind of thing? Sure, that's possible. I mean, it's more probable that it's like one person, or one or two individuals schemed on this.
Well,
But
there's definitely a plan.
What's crazy is like let's pretend Keegan Klein and his dad or his cousin, combination of all three, two, or just one, were involved. What are the odds that they would literally leave the girls,
right,
on private property belonging to someone who is just as evil or like suspect as them? Like, that's just crazy. Like, what are the odds that they would know each other unless they knew each other?
Exactly. Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, it's very true. But, James made a really good point earlier as well. And he's like, leave a body on my own property? I don't think so. So there is kind of that. That would not be the smartest move.
No.
Like, that's a dumb criminal. Not sure if Ron Logan was part of that stuff, but in my opinion, Ron Logan was told the girls were going to be placed where...
Oh, I mean, that would like fit into.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I love think tanks.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So I'm not seeing all that.
I mean, as Ron Logan, like, someone's like, "Hey, I'm gonna commit a murder. Okay."
The bodies are in your yard. Is that okay?
Can I come put these? Like, I'd be like, no.
Too late, they're there. Bye.
Right.
Well, I mean, I don't think any of these guys are the brightest. I don't know. And they're already saying that the girls' bodies had been moved. So where were they moved from? Were they moved from somewhere?
Far?
Yeah.
How far from where?
And that's where the barn theory was coming into play a while back. They're saying that no one was going to
take to a different location, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that evening that they probably spent the night in one of those sheds out there. And then through the night, while everybody was gone, they were placed and posed where they were ultimately found.
It's terrible.
So, yeah. And, it's a little bit sus that this building is burnt down now, though, right?
I'd like to know when that happened as well. Because
yeah.
He was served, this warrant was from 2017, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so, like a couple months.
Not long after this.
Yeah. March or something.
I don't see it to read it. Is there anything you can kind of pick through and find out for information for these guys?
Wearing a blue jacket. I mean, other than they're just that down the hill thing. You know how I feel about that? Like, that sounds like a little like Ron Logan to me.
Right.
But there was something interesting on here towards the end of this.
Okay.
About Logan's like cell phone pings.
That's right.
On February 13, 2017 at 2:09, which 2:09 is about the time I think they posted that Snapchat.
Right.
All right. This. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm turned around. Moon on. So like at 2:07 p.m. Libby posted this picture. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's super small, I know, I'm sorry, but that picture of on the bridge on Snapchat. And that was like at 2:07 p.m.
Yeah.
And Ron Logan, I mean, I'm not saying the ping was there, but although his location cannot be confirmed, the tower data shows that Logan's cell phone was in the Delphi area, in the area of the Moonon High Bridge Trail at 2:07. But I mean, or 2:09. But like his property is literally right there. So,
right.
How accurate is that ping?
Well, they're sure putting weight into it. So it does make you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah, the only shameful thing is that this guy's dead.
Exactly.
So it's almost like looking in. Like, the only reason I don't want it to be Logan is because I want somebody to get caught. Like, I want some justice to be served.
Oh, this is it.
But, like, this is
well, and I mean, I understand that, right? We do. Well, the family needs answers.
It was on Libby phone. I don't know who posted it for sure. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, if we don't know, like, are you saying that you think that maybe, like, the killer could have posted that, or whoever, somebody else? Like, it wasn't necessarily Abby or Libby? It's interesting if it was.
I'm trying to bring up my
and Logan
Adobe,
doesn't have
and
the
it's not
best.
for me.
Logan doesn't have the best relationship history either with his partners. He's kind of a violent guy.
Yep.
And he was lurking around. Again, it's his property, so I don't know how accurate these pins are, but like the night of February 13th, he was lurking outside of his residence.
Oh, he really was.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
I mean,
no, he and the fact that he made alibi.
Yeah.
For that exact time.
Well, he's trying to say that same day, but or maybe the day prior or something, he drove. He's not supposed to drive, right? That's essentially like why he got arrested, I guess, should I say? But
well, yeah.
The place, like, he drove, it's so random. He drove to like some kind of dumping plant or something, or like distribution center. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, and it was fairly close to here.
Right.
Yeah, he drove to, what is this here? I don't know. He drove to like some kind of dumping place, or I don't know, some refinery. I don't know. If someone can find that, that'd be great. Recycling plant. I don't know. Maybe it could have been it. Like it was just some kind of, I don't know, place. Like it sounded like a dump place or
Yeah, it did, didn't
something
it? Like
like
a
that.
refuge.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what it
Refuse.
was. Yeah, but if someone knows what it is, because I can't find the word. A recent interview with Eric Williams. Were they connected? I'm new to this case. Like I'm just barely now like learning a few things on it. So I've never heard this about bones, like animal heads and bones, like hanging on trees. What is this like? That sounds
Well, this is
satanic.
it.
What is that?
It does. Okay,
What if,
here we go.
I mean, I don't know how to look up public records, and I don't want to go doing that, but like usually serial killers start at a young age, and they
Well, don't they though? Right?
and they start killing animals and stuff, and sometimes they like to prop them up and keep them as things.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Nicole
that's weird.
Roberts swears or affirms that she believes and has good cause to believe evidence of a homicide is located in the residence of Ronald Logan located at blah 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 blah, which is described as a white 2-story single family dwelling. They also had one. The warrant was for the garage, the outbuildings, and his vehicle. So they did a good search.
They, yeah.
On February 13th, 2017, at approximately 1 p.m., juvenile victims, hereafter referred to as LG and AW, were taken into the Monon High Bridge Trail, located in Delphi, and were walking the trail area of County Road 300 North and 575 West. Gives a longitude and latitude at approximately 2:13 p.m., which was the time of last contact Abby and Libby had on their cell phones. They were to be picked up by family at 3 p.m., but never met. This is with her, Libby's dad.
Mm-hmm.
And it says here at approximately 5:30 p.m. was the last successful ping by phone company AT&T. The victims, LG and AW, were located deceased on February 14th, 2017 at approximately 12:17 p.m. A suspect has been developed. Now, it's funny because right away here, they're talking about the male suspect, and they describe the build and what he was wearing, and yet they changed that person into that curly-haired young guy somehow in the second.
Yeah, how did that happen? Where'd they get
right?
that from?
So it says that he was heavy physical build, wearing a cap and blue jeans. The development of this suspect was made by a 43-second video taken on Libby's phone, where the suspect follows the victims as they were walking on the Monon High Bridge Trail. Near the end of the video, the suspect speaks to the victims by saying "down the hill." So that came out first, the "down the hill."
Mm-hmm.
So I can't remember how long, but it was a fairly long time where they said, well, we're going to release a little bit more. And the only thing they released was the word guys.
Nice.
It sounds as though he's directing the victims to leave the trail. Yeah.
Question though. So like that statement isn't actually like, it's not from the same sentence. Do you think like it was just like excerpted like together, like put together? They just cut it from like a different spot?
Come again?
Like that. So guys, they released Down the Hill, right? And then it was guys.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So those two words, like the words obviously come from like different sections of the conversation of this 43 long piece that they have.
And they won't release whether or not the word guys comes before or after Down the Hill. So it could be Down the Hill guys or guys down the hill. We don't even know the order of the words. My current big question, a recent interview with Eric Williams, he says there was animal okay, right. I don't know if those were connected. I mean, you got to think I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of like a wooded area there.
Well, but when people go hunting, I mean, they usually take everything with them.
Yeah, they don't just like skin them and, you know.
Not right there.
No.
No.
And I don't know what kind of animal like heads or whatever this might have been.
Right. I'm just assuming deer.
I know that Ron Logan, I think, has some kind of like livestock, doesn't he? Like pigs or
he did
sheep or something. Or he's dead, right? Sorry.
No, but yeah, he did. I don't know for how long. I don't know if it was right up until his death. He died from COVID, of all things. So they must have more footage of Bridge Guy walking towards the camera. Why 2 frames from so far away? No one can even see his face. Like, I don't understand the reasoning behind this. I'm sure they've got closer and clearer images that might help their case, but they're not showing it to us.
I mean, it must be called Deer Creek for a reason, right? There's probably a bunch of yeah, it's a very wooded area. I mean, I could see animals just like maybe passing away there, but to have like a whole gang of bones laying around everywhere, that's a little creepy. And probably someone put them there.
A gaggle of bones?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see here if I can find something on this bridge that'll show. It's not really surprising with how thick that is and the water being right there. It doesn't really surprise me that nobody heard anything. When, you know, they're down low and they've got really good buffers with those trees.
But it was like fall, right? So I mean, like the shrubbery wasn't all that bushy like this. And I mean, you can't really like go boating through here. So
No.
I mean, you can maybe in this area, but like, I mean, I guess depending how high the water is at the time, but this area here doesn't look like it's passable via some kind of craft, you know, motorcraft.
Yeah, you bet. No, I think it's it's narrow, fairly narrow, I guess, and low. If I remember correctly, the girls were walked across the water 2 times. So, because they ended up back on the original side.
On this side, yeah. So they came all the way like this way, right? Here's the end of the bridge. I mean, they can't just like hop off so they would have to walk all the way to the end of the bridge, which you lose kind of in there in the trees. So there's a hill here.
Yeah.
Right? Or like down the hill back this way or down the hill this way.
Yeah. Anywhere that water is, there's a bit of an incline.
Yeah, you can kind of tell here that there's like a little. So, I mean, they could have like gone down the hill this way, right? Or maybe they came this way, but this looks deeper, so they would have walked all the way around. So it just seems a little easier, quicker. I mean, as a criminal, just to walk them straight across.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, and another thing with this is this the only time that this person has done something like this? I unless he's in jail, I doubt not.
They were marched. What? I'm sorry. Marched over the creek.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, there's a creek there. And like sometimes it's like you can kind of see here, it's a little hard to see, but like I guess if the water level's a little bit up, the creek comes out, it's kind of splits with a little landmass in the middle. So
yeah, it does. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure because the day that they found them, Kelsey had crossed the bridge and they were going to search that side. And she started to go down the incline. And one of the searchers kind of yelled out and said, "I found a shoe." And when that happened, she said she started to run towards that area and was stopped. But it sounds like the shoe was on one side and the girls were on the other. You know, and now a person has to think if this was Ron Logan, he will know every little
inch of this.
He would. I
And that's
agree.
kind of why I was asking like that
Huge staging
Keegan
going on in
thing.
this case.
The Keegan, because like I mean, you saw the distance, like 40 miles. Like that's what I was like.
Yeah.
If this Moudon Bridge is like a popular area, then I could, you know, see him Keegan knowing this place. But man, did he really know it that well? And that's obviously not Keegan,
Right.
in the video, right? I don't know if if he was somewhere else or if that video, maybe that guy's just like a complete, you know, like not even a thing. Like what if he's just there? Like it's just, and then the video and the recording is something different. I don't know, but
Well, and it's just come out not long ago that Keegan told law enforcement that he pulled over to the side of the road, let somebody out. He was in a red Jeep. He let whoever this person was out of the vehicle. They went and did what they did and then came back and Keegan took him away. So if that's the case, Keegan wouldn't have to know the area. And if he's going to take someone, I'd be looking at his dad. Or cousin, I guess.
A convenient excuse like that was, oh, I just dropped some person off like in the middle of,
Yeah.
They said they were going hiking. I wasn't going to go with them, so I just drove them 40 miles to drop them off and wait. Like, that's crazy.
Right.
But it could be an excuse. Like,
yeah.
Like, you tell me.
I would say even
that.
That's very true, public. Anyone that hunts that area will know that area inside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but is this a hunting area? Is this actually a hunting area? Like a place that has trails in it? Public trails?
Yeah. Yeah, we've got them out here in the mountains. They can hunt everywhere. You have to dress for it. Or just avoid hunting season altogether, which is what I choose to do.
Crazy. We don't know. Well, where I like in the state that I live, like no, like there's like this to me would be like a park. We would consider this a park. Like it's a trail. It's a public trail.
Yeah.
You can't hunt in those areas. Just specifically because, there's people walking around trying to enjoy nature.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think any of this is I think right around the bridge and the paths, I don't think anybody would be hunting. But I don't think it will also
I mean, I wouldn't
be
put it past people because people will do anything.
Well, I think there's still enough area there that's treed that it's all huntable. You know, like Ron
Designate
Logan's.
times. Okay. Designate times. I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah. And our bullets go, I don't hunt, the bullets go faster than and further than our eyes can actually see, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I mean, sadly, we hear about people getting shot accidentally all the time because of these. I mean, not all the time, but lots. Enough.
Yeah. No, I know it can happen. I find that this, and people will create dumb things. Even if they're not supposed to hunt in the area, they'll hunt in the area. You know, so.
They'll hunt right off of the highways. Sadly. So I just want to see here.
So I mean, like the way this makes it sound, it makes it sound like the guy that's on video is the same guy whose voice they have.
Mm-hmm.
The way this sounds right here.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Presumed to have made contact with the unknown male at approximately 2:13. So that would be the time on the records of her, of a bridge guy getting towards them. And it sounds like it's recorded all the way up, so. And I've also heard that most of that recording is before they went down the hill, not...
So do you think like down the hill was probably like the last bit of that recording?
I think so. The way it's been described to me anyways. And yeah. The location of the crime scene is approximately 1,400 feet from Logan's residence. At the time, 77 years old. And it says, physical build is consistent with the male subject. Logan appears to be in good physical condition, and his voice is not inconsistent with the person on. You picked that up right away.
Well, there's like an interview that he had with like a news station that he like has this weird thing with like the vowels in his like voice. Like he'll be, I can't remember the words he was saying, but he's got like an inflection, like specifically on the vowel, like hill, and it goes high. It like changes the pitch from like his actual usual tone.
Yeah, you picked up on that pretty quick. I was like, no.
I mean, it definitely sounds like him. Keegan kind of sounds like him a little too, but
yeah. See, and that's kind of where I was leaning. But you and many others think that Ron Logan. So it says here, which I find also kind of interesting, is it was also discovered that the blank of one of the victims was missing from the crime scene while the rest of their clothing was recovered.
Souvenir.
So yeah, so whatever he took, probably the underwear or something along those lines, that's usually what they do. It also says that the girls appeared to be moved and staged. Based on my training and experience, it is common for perpetrators of this type of crime to take souvenirs, in some fashion memorialize the crime scene by either taking photos and downloading them into their computers, storage devices, tablets, etc.
Okay, urge pause. I just thought of something. So there's a section in here somewhere that talks about how the girls were found and what the scene looked like. That they said something like the scene of the crime was so violent that there's no doubt that the perpetrator got blood on themselves.
Exactly.
So I can only imagine that there was probably blood on the floor as well.
Exactly.
I mean, everywhere. It's right.
Everywhere.
So
Yeah.
if they, let's just say that there was some kind of shed, barn, whatever, on the property, Ron Logan's property, and he killed them there, or he held them there and then moved them, but if he killed him in the barn and then moved him, you would think that there would be a blood trail and some kind of scent leading back to the barn. So if that place, because they searched his property right after they found her. So if there was a other building on that property, wouldn't they have found a trail of blood, assuming that the girls were killed inside of that little thing? There'd be a trail of that leading them to where they were placed.
Well,
and then Ron Logan would be arrested, convicted of murder.
Right? Yeah. And they don't say in this warrant that they searched any kind of outbuildings like that. There's no record of that I've been able to find, or I'm sure you've been able to find because we'd be showing it, that shows of a search.
I don't know if Molly
through an outbuilding.
Did you happen to find anything with a building on there?
Me?
Well, Molly, because I know Molly said that she was looking for something.
Yes. Yes. So he said, "Did I?" I was like, "You're the pro at that."
Right. I would feel like if there was a structure there and the girls were in that structure, there would be some evidence, something that Ron Logan would have been gone and convicted of this.
Yeah.
You know, just from circumstantial, all the evidence. But if he just held them there and then maybe took them to that other spot still alive, then that's a different story. But there would still be some sort of
scent,
some sort of trace evidence back at that original location. Something, I would hope. I mean, sometimes.
Yeah, because they haven't mentioned. Now they say that they've been moved and posed, but I haven't found anywhere where they were moved from. So I don't know if it was a couple feet or if it was, and if it's one person, if it was just one person, I don't know how they would be able to be making any big moves like that. I mean, you'd think that he would pose them where they were.
And that, the only thing that I would think is if that is Ron Logan's property and Ron Logan did it, allegedly, let's just assume, pretend, he would feel comfortable enough to do that because that's his property.
Exactly.
He would just be like, "Oh, I'll just go ahead and place one here and go do this," and And the unidentified fibers. What are these unidentified fibers they mentioned in that interview as well that they had, that Ron Logan had with the news? You can see a little dog just following him around everywhere.
That's, right?
I mean, that's one way to get children's attention. I mean, I know you could literally make me stop for a dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about the same. So I'm still looking through this, and it says
this right here
that there was no visible signs of the struggle and fight that was just mentioned, and that they located fibers and unidentified hairs and used them for comparison. So they did say, I haven't found it yet in here, but there is a spot that says that they did test the animals, they did take animal hairs. So this is something else that I find interesting. They were searching for handguns and knives. If those are, that kind of tells a story all on its own, I think.
Well, the statement itself where he said that it was so violent that there is no way, no doubt, that the perpetrator would have gotten blood on them.
Right.
That
Yeah.
screams like knife.
It right.
Like, that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
here we
you could
go.
go with a
Indiana,
handgun, but
February 13th, 2017. Logan went to the transfer station in
that's
Delphi.
what transfer station.
Yeah, to drop off trash. So
Transfer station. And that's not
So
too
Logan
far
was
away
driving
from any of those locations. It's right there.
right there.
Yeah.
The video from the transfer station seems to be off by 26 minutes, putting Logan at the transfer station between 11:53 and 11:58 a.m. So that's too early for him to be disposing of evidence.
But what day was that? That was
13th.
The 13th. So that was like early, because the girls got dropped off. Yeah, the girls got dropped off like 1:15, 1:30 or something.
Exactly, yeah.
So this was before all of that.
And then on March 8th, such and such was interviewed by law enforcement and said that that person had met Logan about 7 or 8 years ago, was in a personal relationship for a couple of months, and would stay with him on the odd weekday and weekends. And she left because he became physically abusive. And after that, he decided to stalk and harass her.
Mm-hmm.
Logan had dragged her out of her car by her hair, and she still, at that time, was in fear of him.
What a peach, right? This guy.
And during a march, just lovely, said
Yeah.
that he carried a gun everywhere he went. And he carried it in a fanny pack. Yeah, this is what we were talking about. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So March 8th, when she first saw the photograph of the man on the bridge, she thought the police were looking for Logan because she thought the photograph was him. And didn't realize that originally it wasn't a photograph of him, but it was one of the suspect.
Unless they died on the 12th.
No, they didn't go out there till
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, they definitely were alive. They were seen on the 13th. The video Snapchat thing kind of
exactly on the bridge.
I mean, because even, like, let's just pretend that is right. Like, what if something happened prior to them and all that was fake? On Snapchat, like, the only way, like, you can't, posting a picture that you've previously taken looks different than posting something that you're taking in the moment, and you can tell the difference in the actual Snapchat.
Right. I'm going to see if I can do this. Do you want to take yours down? I'll try and put mine up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just stop sharing.
Okay.
You should be good.
Okay. I will be 2 seconds if you don't mind just carrying on for a second.
Carry on with what?
I'll be 2 seconds. I'll let this dog out before she starts barking.
Snapchat, unless it was taken from a high quality photo. I'm going based off like my memory of when I had Snapchat. I haven't had it in a couple years, but I swear that if I was trying to post something from like my actual photo album, like a memory or something, it very much looks different on the Snapchat itself if you're posting it public for other people to see. But I can't be for sure. If I'm wrong, I'd love to be corrected, because like I said, I haven't had Snapchat in a long time, so I can't be for sure how that works anymore. So, but
Okay.
who do you guys think? Public? Like, if you were to pick like like one person that you think is good for this, like who would you pick? Public? Because they all, I don't know. There's like certain things in each one, like each person that I can't place, like certain facts from the case that I can't place with each of them. Yeah, no kidding. But they're not gonna tell us. And I need to know. I need to know. Mm. And I don't know, like Ron Logan just looks good to me because, like, I like just doing like by what's probable, like what's possible and what's probable, and like he's got the highest probability and possibility for me, just like due to convenience. Like, look how close he lives. Like, just from proximity alone, like he has the most probable and like or possible for me.
Okay.
But Keegan, I don't know. Keegan's a little perv regardless, whether he did
Yeah,
this
he's
or not.
nasty.
Yeah.
He goes to court here coming up too, and just after the new year.
He
So
quite a few
it
people
says
involved.
here,
Yeah.
a call placed using Logan's cell phone produced cell tower data that showed Logan's cell phone appears to be in or around his property at 2:09. And I think that's part of the time that he is trying to say he was buying fish. So although his exact location cannot be confirmed, the tower data shows Logan's cell phone was in the Delphi Monon High Bridge Trail area. Data revealed a text message sent from his phone at 7:56, February 13th. Initial exam and analysis indicates that his phone was most likely outside of his residence and in the proximity of where the girls' bodies were found. So Logan met law enforcement on or about February 17th while they were on his property. March 14th, Logan's former housemate was interviewed. This person resided with him September 2016 to December and was in a relationship with Logan on and off for approximately 3 years. And she has another one that thought that he was possibly involved. So, there's a lot of things pointing at him.
Yeah.
And a lot of things pointing at other people.
Yes.
Request a search warrant so that the entire property located at and his vehicles and the evidence pertains to a murder including clothing, forensic evidence, blood, seen and unseen, hair, bodily fluids, seen and unseen, fibers, weapons including guns and cutting instruments, electronic devices, used basically to detect activities, enforcement of the crime scene, animal hair samples, all of his computers and drives, anything electronic basically, records, documents, writings, and correspondence. So yeah, they did a fairly big search, but we have not
I mean, and he actually has a receipt from that aquarium.
He does.
Dated for that day. Checkout time on it was 5:21.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Keegan Klein affidavit. Let's see here. I think this
Take 30 minutes to get to the store. I think I tried doing the math on this, like, if the girl sent that message, let's just say 2 o'clock ballpark, right? Or that, you know, and it was right at that time when they were being asked to go downhill. I'd say maybe. I mean, is it possible, like, that he held them for some time and then went to the aquarium to buy a fucking fish?
Or I mean, who knows, right?
Because he, like, if he did commit the murder, like, right when he took them, at that exact moment when he took them, he would need to have time to, like, go back in, get washed, change his clothing, make it to the aquarium, and it takes 30 minutes to get there and 30 minutes to get back. So, it's,
yeah, exactly.
It's possible. It's definitely possible.
Just tight.
Very tight.
Let's oh, there's so much. I'm wondering almost if a person should do a 1 and a 2. Let's see. So the statement, this is for Keegan. I pull it up for a second. So on Monday, ISP offered a look into the decision to publicly request information on that account. The Indiana State Police have received many media inquiries since our December 6th press release concerning Anthony Shots, and eventually the identification of Keegan Klein. Your questions are certainly relevant as they relate to a long, complex, and extremely complicated murder investigation. During the last nearly 5 years, we have conducted dozens of secondary investigations based on information we received. One of those investigations included possession of CP, case resulting in the arrest of Keegan Klein. The information we have and continue to receive concerning Klein has ebbed and flowed over these past few years. We understand there was a period of time that passed between 2017 and 2020 when Klein was not arrested and incarcerated for the CP. Once the Indiana State Police presented the criminal case to the Miami County prosecutor in June of 2020, immediate action was taken by both Indiana State Police and the Miami County prosecutor's office. So, I mean, they're looking at Keegan pretty darn hard too, aren't they?
Yeah, but I mean, I'd be looking at Keegan pretty hard too with all the...
Right?
He does. He's weird. He's a weirdo.
Yeah, he is. He totally is. Let's see here. Don't want this. There's supposed to be.
Thanks for inviting us in tonight at 6. It's hard to believe it has already been 5 years since those Delphi murders.
2 little girls, Abby Williams and Libby German, went for a walk on a day in February and they never came home. It was the very next day, on Valentine's, that the 2 girls were found murdered near the bridge where they had last been seen alive.
And despite thousands of tips and years of searching, there are still no arrests and no named suspects.
Yeah, it's so frustrating for so many people. But tonight, the girls' families say still they are hopeful that any day could be the day they finally get the answer.
Well, 5 years later, posters still hang in the windows of downtown Delphi asking for information and tips about the man you see in this sketch. He is the guy that police believe is responsible for the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. And 5 years later, Abby Williams' mother says she never expected to be here, still wondering who is responsible for her only child's murder.
Some days are very hard.
It's a gray and cold February day, and Anna Williams has agreed once again this year to talk with us about the most unbelievable loss of her life.
As hard as it is, it's still really important to do it. How do you say no? How do you say, no, we don't, I mean, we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to keep doing what we're doing, but we have to. We have to keep looking for justice and finding justice, and we're just going to keep pushing forward and doing this every year that we have to.
It's a milestone, the 5-year mark of her daughter and Libby German's disappearance and murder, that Williams never thought she'd reach without answers, without some kind of justice.
I don't think anybody thought we'd be here at this spot at the 5-year mark with an unsolved case. I mean, everybody from the beginning, open and shut, this will be fast, it'll be over soon. And we really thought so.
Instead, thousands of tips have come in over the years as investigators have released pieces of information, video and audio of the killer, captured on Libby's cell phone the day the girls disappeared, and 2 sketches, with investigators saying the second sketch was an updated picture of what they believed the killer looked like. Then a development late last year when Indiana State Police asked for information about anyone who'd had contact with the social media account Anthony_shots, saying it was related to the Delphi case. Court documents show a Peru man, Keegan Anthony Klein, was connected to the account and behind bars in Miami County on a separate case involving multiple charges, including child exploitation and possession of child porn. Court documents also revealed police searched Klein's home 11 days after the girls' bodies were found, but Klein has never been named a suspect or even a person of interest in the girls' murders.
People are still talking about that, and I think they're still working through all of those leads.
Williams says people send her leads too.
It's still comforting to know that people out there care. Some of it is exhausting. Still get your regular old folks that just want to turn in the tips to me thinking I can help them more than the state police, and I can't.
What Williams can do is help to hold events in her daughter and Libby's memory, like the food drive held every February. The expanding park dedicated to the girls is also a reminder. So too are the signs up in windows with Abby and Libby's pictures that Williams still sees.
It's a reminder. Some days are very hard when that happens, but it's still a reminder that people here care.
The signs are also a reminder that 2 families and a community are still waiting for answers and the justice they hope will follow. With Anna Williams continuing to tell herself, as she did 5 years ago, today is the day justice will come.
Some days it's really hard, but yeah, we still keep positive that today could be the day and tomorrow could be the day and any day. We just have to keep being hopeful on that and have faith that it will be one day. We just have to hope that our day is coming and today's the day.
Yeah.
You say that like what somebody in that family says that, like posts that every day, right? Like today's gonna be the day.
Today's the day. Yeah. Abby and Libby, well, it's Libby's grandmother, and she does a post every day, and it says, today is the day. And for as long as I've seen this stuff on social media, she's been doing it.
Yeah, it's harsh.
Yeah, it is.
I hope they do. I mean, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Regardless of what the answer is at the end of this, I hope they do find some kind of answer, some peace.
They deserve it. It's been
Yeah.
a long time, and this was brutal. See what this has to say. It's on Keegan. Maybe we can learn a little bit more.
Doesn't he have like a SoundCloud? Isn't he a rapper or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I thought I saw something on like while searching like that he has like SoundClouds, unless that's something different. But even on that affidavit thing that where they show kind of like the messages that he was having with one of the underage girls. somewhere in there it says something like it's a SoundCloud thing, and it says this is the same as the other, but it has like a different file name, or it's sent from a different device.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's see here. I will,
I'm actually trying to find that. See if I read that correctly on there.
Did it again. I'll do this one.
His iPhone 3G was called Keggy with a little smiley face.
Right.
Keggy. Oh my gosh.
Barf. Okay.
Miami County Jail on those unrelated charges. And now he's talking on camera for the first time, acknowledging the Delphi investigation in a jailhouse interview with CNN.
Why do you think investigators are putting so much focus on you right now?
I have not a clue. Because I think it's because they said I was the last person to talk to her, is what they've told me.
He looks suspicious as shit.
Klein says investigators haven't threatened any charges against him for Abby and Libby's murders. And while he's admitted to cheating, or rather creating the Anthony Shots profile to get inappropriate pictures, he says that's where the crime ends.
Were you ever trying to meet these girls in real life that you were talking to?
No, never.
Did you have anything to do with the murders of Abby or Libby?
Not at all. And I gave up my DNA, a hair follicle test. I've done everything they wanted me to.
We reached out to state police tonight to ask if they've collected DNA samples from Klein and if Klein's Anthony Shots profile was the last to talk to Libby before the murders. They say they can't confirm either statement. As we wrap up tonight's big story, remember that.
Yeah, he's not looking so innocent, is he?
No. And you want to get this. So, like, his other device, his Samsung Galaxy S5, the name of that. Well, I don't know why this says this iPhone was named when it says Samsung on it, but Klein Photography.
Oh.
How freaking
that's scary.
Creepy is that?
Exactly. Yeah, that's scary. That is scary. So it says here, and this is still the proper address. It's Abby and Libby Tip at CACOSHRF.com.
The tip email address for the Delphi murders, it's still active. Even years later, any piece of information you can share could be the key to cracking this case. We also have this address posted on Wthr.com.
Yeah. I'll jump off that, and then I've got another one here. Unless this is the one. Okay, yeah, this is the creepy cousin.
He does look creepy.
Yeah. Like I said, it always amazes me. Like, doesn't he look so sad he got caught drinking and driving? So that's Travis Trexler. Keegan. The girls. Not the one I was after.
Horrible hat.
Get rid of it. Okay, this is the one that talks a little bit about that masked man cops interviewed. Let's see if it'll give us a little bit more information. Okay, no. Get rid of that one.
Oh my god, I had totally missed this part here.
What did you find?
On that, I guess it's just like on that Keegan affidavit. What is this? it's kind of towards the end, but it says conversations were found on this device where Emily, and that's in quotations, that Keegan was apparently talking to a girl by the screen name Emily.
Mm-hmm.
And it discussed how she had sexual relations with Keegan and his father at the same time.
Oh.
And she's young, like 12 or 13 years old.
Oh my God. Ugh. I think I puked in my mouth a little bit.
Emily Ann. The user also used two profiles, Keegan Klein and Emily Ann. Emily Ann would be Keegan's stepsister.
Yep. And that's the name he was using when he wanted to
Oh, now I'm understanding. So this was him what? He was catfished? I'm so confused.
Yeah, no, Keegan used that name when he wanted to go under a woman's profile, just to make things seem a little bit, I guess, more trustworthy. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So he went on pretending to be a girl named Emily.
Yeah, which is his half-sister.
Said that he had sex with Keegan and the father at the same time. I mean, he's either like saying that story because it's true, or he's saying that story just because he's trying to relate, but I can't see that statement relating to anybody. Like,
right?
Normal, not at least not a child. Like,
sick.
It's so.
I think I'm gonna put this on. It's just brief.
To the killer, who may be in this room, we believe you are hiding in plain sight. We know that this is about power to you, and you want to know what we know. And one day, you will.
Investigators also releasing more of that chilling recording from...
See how steep that is?
Yeah.
And Ron Logan was able to walk up and down that without any problem.
Libby's phone, believed to be the killer's voice.
I think I want to... Oh. I just want to see if there's see if I can find one by okay, this is pretty recent, so I'll just load it and then I'll bring you over. There's been so many suspects that a person just... Okay, I haven't actually seen this interview. Let's go take a look. Yeah, okay. So this is Betty.
Hey, Kentuckiana, this month Coil is guaranteeing a minimum of $2,000 for your trade. That's right. If you can drive it, it's worth at least...
Oop. I was trying to mute it.
$2,000. Visit CoilDeals.com today to find your next car, truck, or SUV. Coil, where the flag is flying and Kentuckiana is buying.
Police now have DNA in the case of these two girls who were killed in Delphi, Indiana more than 5 years ago. Libby German's grandmother shared that information during a new interview with Fox News. German and Abby Williams went for a hike on a popular trail on Valentine's Day of 2017. Their bodies were found the next day. Libby used her cell phone to capture the image and voice of her suspected killer. Then last year, police uncovered a social media account called Anthony_Shots that communicated with Libby. It showed pictures of...
I just cannot imagine expecting this guy to come walking down that bridge.
You definitely know that wasn't that guy walking.
Oh, yeah. Like,
you would know.
A little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
of a model, but the account actually belonged to Keegan Anthony Klein. Klein failed a polygraph when asked questions about the girls' deaths. In a new interview, Libby's family says ISP detectives now have more to work with.
Police have said there was DNA. They have made the comment that there was DNA. I know for a fact that this Anthony Schatz account did have contact with Libby. I feel that he knows more than he says.
Klein has not been charged with the girls' murder and has denied any involvement in that crime.
Yeah. Oh my. So, bridge guy.
So they have DNA from
the scene,
huh?
Yeah. And that just came out. Like, this was May. So that's fairly recent for, like, ultimately for this case. So here, I don't even know if I want to go that direction. Okay, I know what we'll do. I was looking for this. It's the Wabash search. So what do you think? I think that we'll do this and then probably jump off and maybe touch on it again, because there is so much information.
Like if you go through like the affidavit, the search warrants, like all of that stuff, you'll find like little tidbits of things that you're like, what?
Oh yeah.
No.
It sends you on another rabbit hole.
Yeah. There's just
This is the Wabash.
8 at 10 starts now.
We're following a developing story out of Peru tonight. Indiana State Police searching the Wabash River, and it may be connected to the case surrounding Keegan Klein.
News 8's Cody Adams joins us now live from Peru, where police were searching. Cody.
Yeah, it was here at Wabash River. We're on the bridge right across from the Kelly Avenue Bridge where ISP was searching earlier today. Our partners, the Murder Sheet podcast, shared photos showing divers in the Wabash River near the nickel plate bridges for motorists and pedestrians. State police has placed flags marking spots in the river where they had been searching. The Murder Sheet reports the search is connected to Keegan Klein. He faces 30 child porn-related charges for using the Anthony Schatz social media account to get sexual images and videos of young girls. Police have said that account may be linked to the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German in Delphi in 2017. Court records unsealed last week show state police had court permission on August 19th to take Klein out of the Miami County Jail in Peru, but would not specify why. The Murder Sheet reports it was for a search of the river. Court documents also say Klein was in negotiations with prosecutors, leading to a delay in his next court appearance. We spoke with one resident who's shocked something like this would be going on in his hometown.
We live here in a Mayberry type of community, and we don't know what's going on for the most part, but, we still care.
Klein has not been charged in the Delphi case. In fact, no one has been arrested in the murders. ISP has still not made a public comment about the search here in the Wabash River. Reporting live in Peru, Cody Adams, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow.
Wish TV.
Years since these two girls, Abby Williams and Liberty German, were found dead in Delphi, Indiana. Now there's a focus on a new search site. Host of the true crime podcast, The Murder Sheet, took these photos of investigators scouring the Wabash River. It's about 40 miles from where the two young girls were found. Indiana State Police would only confirm they have a dive team in the area, but the podcast hosts say the investigators were just a few miles from the family home of Keegan Klein. According to authorities, Klein admitted to using a phony social media account with the handle Anthony Schatz to communicate with minors, including one of those murdered Delphi girls.
Created a completely false persona for himself. And we know that the Anthony Schatz account was actually in communication with Liberty German, who was one of the victims in this case.
A court document obtained by ABC News shows Klein was temporarily moved from the custody of his local authorities to the hands of Indiana State Police, the lead investigators in this murder. Investigators haven't said exactly what they're looking for in the riverbed or if it's connected to the Delphi case.
So, now this one I think I would like to show.
A person on Facebook said they personally saw Keegan with his lawyer on the river bank yesterday with what looked like numerous federal officials. They claim he finally turned on his dad. They claim the public will be outraged when they hear what kind of deal he signed. Call me skeptical, but I'm a bit surprised details of an important plea deal would be told to an onlooker watching the search. I think it's best to take this information with a grain of salt. I don't want to get my hopes up, but I hope the search in the Wabash River in Peru, Indiana is directly connected to the Klein case and not to a case regarding a dead body in the Wabash River in West Lafayette. I think I'm going to be patient and wait on an official law enforcement statement regarding the Kleins. I hope an arrest or arrests are coming.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So what do you think, Mexi?
This case is exhausting.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is.
You know, there's still a lot I want to go through.
It's never ending. Yeah, like you can go through a lot with this case.
Oh, absolutely. We still have to go through Keegan's interview, and so maybe what we'll do is set up a time when we're offline here and finish up, or we'll be here for 4 hours, 5 hours.
I need snacks.
Yeah,
like I think like his transcript alone of him with the cops with law enforcement could be like just a whole thing on its own, because
it's what, 169 pages?
197.
197, is that what it is?
I think so.
I think so. Well, thanks for joining me, Mexi. I really appreciate everything you do.
It's been fun. It's been great. And I can't wait to catch up.
Thanks for joining us, you guys. It was nice having people to go through this. Think tanks are great, eh?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and everybody's got a different view, and we can learn off of each other and maybe put some pieces together.
Yeah, maybe things will start to fit. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us, and
happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. And we'll definitely see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.